Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. So great to see you. I hope you're doing well. Yes, I am still in my exercise clothes because I went to bring a parent to PE class today, parent guardian to PE class today with my sixth grader, which was so much fun and also deeply exhausting. I do not have the energy of a sixth grader anymore, even though I really wish I did. Okay, not the point, not what I necessarily wanted to chat with you about here today on our Data Bite. So how we organize our data is really influenced by what we're trying to do with our data. And so if you've been to any of our strategy share outs or anything like that, or maybe, sorry, let me finish that sentence. If you've been to any of our strategy share outs, you might have heard me use the word tidy data. We've talked about it on some of our data bites. You might be running across it in some of your other interactions with different database lessons, data rich instruction, things like that. It really comes into play if, okay, so I'm going to paint a scenario. You're having your students input data into Google Sheets. You think it's going great. And then they go to insert the chart. And what comes out from the chart wizard in Google Sheets is like totally different than what you are expecting that you will see coming out. Oftentimes, that has to do with how the data are organized. And we organize our data in a variety of different ways. Most often, the vast majority of the time, in our K-12 classrooms, we organize our data in a wide format where we're just recording data over and over and we have different columns and things like that. But here's the challenge. For a computer program, for a graphing program, for a graphing interface, Excel, Google Sheets, Tuva, Data Classroom, Python, RStudio, whatever you're working in, to actually be able to understand what those data are as an algorithm, as a computer, they expect it to be organized in a certain way. Now, Excel and Google Sheets have put some usability components in, so they're trying to do a little bit more guessing, but really best practices are that we organize our data in a tidy format, which means each column is a variable or an attribute that we are collecting information on. And each row is what we call a case or an instance in which we have recorded those data. Now, if we kind of take that as a grain of salt where we're going from, then the question that I often get is okay, so I've got my data in wide organization because it's easier to collect data that way often for our students, but we need to shift it into this tidy organization so it's easier to visualize and explore the data. Do I really have to copy and paste and sit here over and over and over again and go through all of those motions? And I'm here to say, no, not necessarily. And I want to showcase with you all one of the super exciting things that Data Classroom. Sorry, I'm trying to open tabs and say this all at the same time. Data Classroom has this awesome feature called the Melt feature. And so let me open this window. And let me give you a little sneak preview of this because this is great. Those of us that are using Data Classroom, we can totally jump in and use this to our advantage. Okay, so Melt function. There is a whole great how-to user guide webpage all about this. Also a link out to a great discussion of tidy data. Just as a reference point, again, tidy data is how all of our graphing programs, Kodak, Tuva, Data Classroom, if we're working HHMI, Data Explorer, R, Python, all the coding languages are expecting our data to be in this tidy format. So here they have a sort of user guide that you can look through to think about the Melt function. But I just want to give kind of a quick rundown of well, what does this mean? So let's pretend, why would this be important? Let's pretend we have these data. Every student, they have different classes that they're taking, and they have different grades in the class. Might this look familiar in our grade books? Maybe this is what we're looking at an administrator level, or for what looked like more for my classroom, it was these were the different assignments and they had grades, either letter or numbers. The challenging thing is when we go to look at these data and we're trying to graph the data, it then becomes a little muddled when, okay, if we just want to look at how did our students do across math, that's one thing. But if we're also interested in science, then that gets a little complicated on what we're seeing. Whereas if we have our data organized, let me click back over here in this tidy format where there's a student and they were in a subject and they have a grade. So now we're in the tidy format. Now we can actually look at their grades across, like what was the distribution of grades across those. But the question is, how do we get from this organization to that organization? And that's where the melt function comes in. It's in here in the hamburger, under advanced, under tidy format. It walks you through, again, like how to do this. You can set it all up. You can undo it once you've done it. And again, there is this link on this like user guide on how to sort of share it out and how to think about that with your students. So quick introduction, check out the Melt feature. I will add the link below and then let us know, how is it going for you? There are others, by the way. We can do this in Google Sheets. We can do it in different ways. We can do it in Excel with pivot tables. But I just wanted to highlight up that Data Classroom has built this Melt function, so that we can easily take our wide data into tidy data. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope to see you on October 2nd at our upcoming strategy share out, where we will be thinking about helping our students draw conclusions. And with that, I need to go help my little one go to his piano lesson. Have a wonderful rest of your day. See y'all soon.